last year didn't go to plan.
Status check. We're a bit fucked. I can't move. I'm gonna go sit down. Fuck, this is killer. I'm really struggling.
And I'm back this year in this marathon prep, got everything right. And with the Gold Coast Marathon in July 7th, 2024, we'll be aiming for a sub 3:30 marathon. We'll be looking at nutrition, hydration, all different workouts, gym work, rest and recovery, as well as kind of documenting mindset performance, dealing with kind of the rigors of everyday life mentally as well as physically. So come with me on a journey as we take hopefully my running and your running to another level. So everyone loves a good plan.
I love it when a plan comes together.
But a plan is only as good until you get punched in the face.
Like, you have my favorite quote that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
They all do, but sometimes they punch you back in the face. You have a plan too, you gotta be careful with that.
The Gold Coast Marathon and the GC50 wasn't ideal performance-wise, prep-wise. Hybrid training and event prep is really hard. Diet, nutrition, getting that workout schedule correct, and recovery correct, rest correct is never easy. I think I got it wrong twice last year. I began this initially by cutting fat and cutting weight carefully and proactively, but I weighed 87 kilos, so 190 pounds going into that ultra last December, and I currently sit early April at 81 kilos, kind of coming down to 80 kilos. I've cut 7 kilos, so give or take 15 pounds in the last 4 months to take pressure off injuries, to take pressure off knees and ankles, and just be lighter and flow to your run. And I'm pushing faster and faster pace. So that was the initial goal pre-marathon prep. But during the marathon prep, I've wrote down some things that went wrong in the 2 preps in 2023 and things I want to put right as we move into July this year. And the workout plan is a hybrid training plan. I've shown you them all before. I linked some videos in the description and I'll put something on the screen around me now, but I will obviously be doing endurance running alongside gym work, so strength work in the gym. But there are 5 key things that I really want to focus on. The first one is speed work. I spent so much of my life running quickly, playing sport, playing elite sport, and even before I got into marathon running, as most of us find as gym athletes trying to run, we just run full pelt for 10 kilometers, get absolutely exhausted, and do that twice a week because that's all we can manage. Like, there's no discipline to running before you understand what it takes to run a marathon. So putting back in speed work and track work and getting my body used to running at pace, used to running at kind of 3-minute kilometers, or used to running at kind of 4-minute kilometers for tempo, and then used to running at 4 minutes 58, which is the 3:30 marathon time, to go sub 3 hours 30 minutes over 25, 30, 35, 40. And the speed work that you put in and getting your body used to the speeds is the foundation to unlock that extra speed, that extra pace, without having to force yourself to do it every run, every week, all the way through the prep. The second thing I want to fix is cramp. I need to be much smarter with my hydration, my fueling, my electrolytes. I've gone into both of the last 2 events, just taking about 1,000, 1,500 milligrams of sodium into each race morning. And I'm going to double that. Basically so I go into each race fueled with 3,000 milligrams of sodium, and I want to carb up much better in the 2 or 3 days before the race event, but also really focus that during the race event, take a salt tab, or just carb up better, hydrate smarter. But the idea is to preempt cramp by taking more sodium beforehand, and then react if I have to, having a salt tab during the race if needed. I think the third point is really simple. I want to log more miles, more kilometers, more distance. I've added an extra 3 or 4 weeks to this training block to both of last year's events. I think I topped out at last year's both peak weeks. I didn't get to peak week for the Gold Coast Marathon last year because of injury. The peak week for the Ultramarathon topped out at, I think it was 98k kilometers, so 60, 65 miles. I want to be pushing those to kind of 75, 80 miles, 110, 120 kilometer weeks as we move into the last 2 or 3 weeks and into peak week. Just getting used to my body moving at more mileage at faster speeds is going to be vital. So I'll be pushing the distance harder earlier during this training prep, which should get me ready sooner, at pace sooner, and allow me to give me more time to rest and to taper down going into the marathon event itself. The fourth factor is I need to recover better. So I'm putting much more sauna work back into my post-gym sessions. I'm currently in the process of using an UltraHuman smart ring. This is the UltraHuman Ring Air, which they kindly sent to me to test out and get some feedback on. So I get all kinds of information on heart rate variability, heart rate drop, sleep, recovery, caffeine intake, so stimulant intake windows. I see my sleep progress, the amount of sleep I get, and I can really see the impact of what I eat and how I sleep and how I'm training has on these kind of scientific database recovery scores. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying having extra data. Like, I think as athletes, we all innately know how we feel. We know how we're overtraining or undertraining and not eating well enough. But to see it in binary format, in dots and dashes, in numbers, in quantitative images on a phone, on the app, which is lovely, by the way, is great for me. And I've been able to tweak things ever so slightly, understand where I'm either up a run or down a run, and recovery, and using this ring for recovery is going to be a huge part of the training block. And number 5 is really simple. I used to need to run marathon workouts faster, or do more miles, more kilometers, closer to marathon prep. So I'm adding in what I'm testing as on the Monday morning is something called a flow run. So tempo runs, I usually run at kind of 4:30 per kilometer. Flow runs are more or less on marathon pace. So I want to be running at the 4:58 minutes per kilometer pace to hit that 3:30 marathon, and just get my body used to just chugging away at the speed and getting normalize the speed as something that I can handle, and bring my heart rate down over the course of this marathon prep to where, running 4:58 is not fast for a lot of people, but for me, getting used to that should be a game changer, and make me more confident in my ability to run this time by spending more distance, more kilometers, more minutes at the pace I need to hit when it comes to marathon day. I think with every event I do, I always ask the question of why, and why it's interesting, why it's important. And I think for this Gold Coast Marathon, this prep I think it's twofold. I've always been a very competitive kid, a competitive person. I played elite sport for most of my life, and that doesn't ever go away. Like the act of running towards a goal, a pace, a speed, an event, the finish line scratches the itch of that competitive drive that I have. And I feel like having that day-to-day purpose, day-to-day drive to run and to lift and to eat right and to recover right is great for me mentally. It's great for business. It's great for my relationships. And having marathon preps, so they're tough, they're just great little kind of bubbles to really improve myself on a day-to-day basis. But it's not just about the competitive aspect of running and improving yourself physically. Running for me in the last 6 to 8 months has had a huge difference on me mentally, and my ability to handle stress and to handle worry and be creative and think clearly and prioritize correctly. And it's probably changed my life for the better, no doubt. Those 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 mile runs have become commonplace for me, and there's spaces for me to think and relax and to become comfortable inside my own head for 2 hours with no company. And that process of running every day, of just getting a little bit better every single day, 1% better, 365 days a year, has just transformed me into a different kind of human. I'm calmer, I'm more present, I'm much more well-rounded and aware. The gym work I do is more focused and intense. And so the combination of the competitive drive and the calm mental kind of purpose and progress, and then the peace I get from running is the core basis and foundation of why we're going for a 3:30 marathon in July. So that is the basic plan for the 3:30 marathon. I'm looking to take a whole hour off last year's marathon time, and I'm excited to get into it. I will say, for my subscriber base, and if you follow me on Instagram, I'm not hugely in the best place at the moment when it comes to nailing down my runs. I'll bring them up on the marathon prep so far. So I'm about 3 weeks in, and I've been slowly building up the kilometers from 20, 23, 30, 33, up to kind of 38 over the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks, just because I had injury and just because I'm finding it really tough. Like, I'm going through like a low energy phase. The business, there's a lot of work with the launch going on, and I'm just trying to be honest and transparent that I'm not hyped the whole time. And right now, I'm just going through the motions with the gym and running work, just to keep making that 1% progress. And I'm still hitting my distances, I'm still hitting my lifts in the gym, I'm still progressing, but it's a bit of a grind. And Like, as much as I want to sit here and say everything is always great, everything's always dialed in, it's just not. And right now, it's just not. It's taken me longer to get this YouTube video out, for example. And I think I want to be the one that says to all of you that this is what life's like. And it's not perfect, it's not easy. And right now it's a bit of a struggle for me. So I'm hoping I can just push through, get through the next kind of week, 10 days, 2 weeks of marathon prep, and then that kind of energy momentum will return. And I've just done my best during this meantime to tick stuff off, get stuff done, and I'm still in a really strong place on the other side. So yep, that is the plan for the 3:30 marathon. There's going to be probably eight episodes coming up between now and the marathon start going on July 7th. I'll throw in some more videos in there obviously as well, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe to follow the journey. We're growing bit by bit on the channel, and as I said, I'm not an elite athlete. I am just a civilian that's just trying to show you that hybrid athlete training and the lifestyle and running your own business and doing that as a unit can change your life mentally and physically, and that's why I'm here. I'll see you in the next one.